Hello, magandang araw. Are you craving to learn something again? Then this is meal time. Math explained, apply to learn time. For today's lesson, we are going to solve quadratic equations by completing the square. It means we are going to find solutions on a given quadratic equation by applying completing the square method. X squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0 using completing the square. How are we going to do that? First, we are going to write this equation such that the terms with variables are on the left side and that the constant on the right side of the equal sign. So, to do that, we use addition property of equality. Okay, so this will be x squared plus 4x. Negative 5 plus 5 is equal to 0. Then this is now equal to 5. Next step, we should make the left-hand side of the equation a perfect square trinomial. How are we going to make this a perfect square trinomial? Of course, we need to get the half of the middle term. So what's 1/2 of the numerical coefficient of 4? So that's 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. And then square this is equal to 4. That's right. So we are going to add 4. Remember, what we added to the left must be added to the right to make the equation balanced. So this is now a perfect square trinomial. And we are going to express this as a square of a binomial. So how are we going to obtain a square of a binomial? First, we get the square root of the first term. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 4 is positive 2 or negative 2. But the second term sign is positive. Therefore, we take the positive sign for 2 squared. Now, this is a square of binomial. Is equal to the sum of 5 and 4 is equal to 9. After this, we need to solve by extracting square root. So, we put square root on both sides of the equation. Square root of x plus 2 quantity square is equal to x plus 2. And this is the square root of 9 will have positive and negative 3. And then we are going to solve the resulting linear equations. So this will be two equations. In this case, we have x plus 2 is equal to positive 3. And on the right side, we have x plus 2 is equal to negative 3. Okay. Then what's next? We solve by addition property of equality, or get the inverse of positive 2, that's negative 2, on both sides of the equation. So this is now 0. We now have the value of x is equal to positive 3 plus negative 2 is equal to 1. On the other hand, we have to subtract 2 on both sides of the equation to make this 0. X now is equal to negative 3 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 5. So, the roots of this equation is x is equal to 1 and x is equal to negative 5. X squared minus 6x minus 3 by completing the square. First step is we are going to write the equation such that the terms with variables are on the left side and the constant term should be on the right side of it. So, how are we going to take away negative 3 on this side? We will apply addition property of equality. So, that would be plus 3 on both sides. So, this will be x squared minus 6x is equal to positive 3. This is now equal to 0. Second step is for us to make the left-hand side of the equation a perfect square trinomial. And to do that, we need to take the second term's numerical coefficient. So that is negative 6. Divided by 2. So the answer is negative 3. Then we will get the square of negative 3, or negative 3 squared is equal to positive 9. So we are going to add positive 9 in this left side of the equation, also to the right side, to make the equation balance. Next step, we are going to rewrite the perfect square trinomial as a square of binomial, and that would be getting the square root of the first term. X squared is x. The square root of 9 is positive 3. And take the sign of the second term, which is negative. And then square. Now this is the square of a binomial. Is equal to the sum of 3 and 9, which is equal to 12. After this, we are going to apply extracting of square roots. Okay. So, the square root of x, or of quantity x minus 3 squared, is equal to x minus 3 is equal to the square root of 12 is, so there is 12 is not a perfect square. Therefore, we need to express or simplify 12 by getting its factors. So that will be 4 and 3. Now we have the square root of 4 is equal to positive and negative 2, and square root of 3 stays inside. Then write the left hand side. Now we are going to solve for the linear equation, putting negative 3 or the constant on the left, or on the right side of the equation. So this is for us to add 3 on both sides of the equation. After that, so this is now x is equal to 3 plus and minus 2 square root of 3. So we need to write this as 2 roots. So that is x equals 3 plus 2 square root of 3. And on the left side, on the right side is 3 minus 2 square root of 3. Now, we have the two roots of the given equation. X squared minus 6x minus 3 is equal to 0. Our given is 4x squared minus 32x is equal to negative 28. As we see, the left side of the equation has the variables, and the constant is already on the right side of the equation. First thing, we need to simplify this equation. As you see, there is a GCF for each numerical coefficient and constant. So that is correct, 4. The GCF of this is 4. So we are going to simplify this by dividing everything by 4. So 4x squared divided by 4 is x squared. Next is negative 32x divided by 4 is negative 8x is equal to negative 28 divided by 4 is negative 7. So next step, we are going to make the left side of the equation a perfect square trinomial. So to do that again, we are going to get the numerical coefficient of the second term, which is negative 8, and then divide it by 2. And the answer is negative 4. Very good. So we need to get the square of this. That would be, okay, positive 16. We need to add 16 on both sides of the equation. And then next step, okay, we are going to change this, rewrite it into a square of binomial. So to do that, get the square root of x, that would be x, and the square root of 16 is 4. And copy the sign of the second term, and then square, is equal to the sum of negative 7 and positive 16. So the answer is 9. Correct. Next step is for us to get the square root of both sides. Use extracting of roots. So cancel. We have x minus 4 is equal to the square root of 9 is equal to positive and negative 3. Very good. So now let us solve the linear equation. So how are we going to remove this to solve for the value of x? Yes, we add 4 on both sides of the equation. So that would be x is equal to 4 plus and minus 3. So we need to have two solutions. So that is x is equal to 4 plus 3 and x is equal to 4 minus 3. And the sum of this is equal to 7. That's the first solution. And on the other hand, we have x is equal to 4 minus 1, minus 3 is 1. So that's it for solving quadratic equation by completing the square. Let's start solving. X squared minus 2x is equal to 3. As you see, the left hand side of the equation has the variables and the constant is on the right side. So what we do is for us to write the left hand side into a perfect square trinomial. So let's just have a space here. So let's rewrite x squared minus 2x is equal to 3. We have the space for the perfect square to make it a perfect square trinomial. So how do we do it? We get the numerical coefficient of the second term, so that is negative 2 divided by 2. So the answer is negative 1. We square negative 1, so the answer is positive 1. So we add positive 1 on both sides of the equation. Now we rewrite the perfect square trinomial as a square of binomial. To do that, we get the square root of x squared, that would be x, and the square root of 1 is still 1. And get the sign of the second term, minus, and then squared, is equal to the sum of 3 and 1 is equal to 4. And then we get the square root of both sides, that is using extracting of roots. So this will be x minus 1 is equal to positive and negative 2, which is the square root of 4. Solve the resulting linear equation. We eliminate this by adding 1 on both sides of the equation. So this is x is equal to positive 2 and positive and negative 2 plus 1. So we rewrite separately. we have x is equal to positive 2 plus 1 and x is equal to negative 2 plus 1. So x this time is equal to 3, and on the right side, x is equal to negative 1. So these are the two solutions or roots of the given quadratic equation. Thank you for watching. I hope you've learned something today. It's time for you to apply what you've learned. Share this mealtime with others. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more mealtime together. And that's all for today. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.